was dragged around and pummeled down and pushed into the water. I was vilified and mortalized. Is this baptism for a holy daughter?
Welcome to Movies, Marriage, and Plenty of Mayhem.
Do you still have that vacancy? 2 days a week?
So this clip from the Well Done Scene we introduced because that is pretty much how I asked Hanan if it would be okay for us to work together, except how I wish I had signed a contract for 2 days a week. That didn't work out for me.
Doesn't work.
So today's topic is it possible or desirable for partners, for wives to work together? Or in my case, is it desirable to sleep with the producer?
I say always sleep with the producer. Much more fun. And work with the producer.
I hope she doesn't say that to everybody. To me, it's fine. Anyway, so we get asked a lot, how is it working together? What made you start working together? And how does it work out? Well, maybe I should track back to why we started working together, because you were not in the film industry when we first met.
At all. No, I had nothing to do with film or music or books or anything, except I enjoyed going to the movies.
I was optioning these scripts in Hollywood because I really didn't know. I wasn't able to. I certainly didn't feel that I was able to go out there and meet producers and figure out what to do. But optioning means that you give up control of your material to somebody else entirely. And I think the last straw came for me when I did a very delicate story of unrequited love that could never come to pass. And they called up and they said that they had raised the budget for this movie, but they had to add 2 sex scenes and a nude scene. So that kind of spoiled for me the unrequited part, which was the entire raison d'être of the film. So I turned to Hanan in despair and said, what are we going to do about this? And she, of course, said, turn down the money.
Turn down the money, turn down the 15 million and do what you want to do. Stay true to your art.
So we stayed true to our art, but I said, well, if we're going to be true to our art and you're going to make me turn down this money, then I think the least you could do is produce my films for me. So I Can't Think Straight was the first movie that we made, and if you're wondering what it's like to be on a film set, when we first arrived that first day, we were wondering the same thing, because neither of us had ever actually been on a film set, which is either tremendously courageous or tremendously
insane.
But we did it, and it was a very, very steep learning curve. And I think what was interesting about that film is that while I was on the creative side and trying to hold things together and work with Lisa and Sheetal on the character development, Hanan was taking care of what was actually quite a difficult production shoot.
Yes, I mean, it was a baptism by fire. Anything that you read about and hear about that could go wrong has gone wrong.
But Hanan also works with me on the creative side as well, which I really love, because sometimes you'll spend 2 hours setting up a shot, and because you've been to hell and back to get everything organized the right way, you're in love with that shot, and then she will come by and look at the monitor and say, what are you doing?
And there's enough pressure on a movie set usually, and the last thing a director needs to do is to be pressured by delays and issues and so on. So I try to shield and protect Shamim as much as possible so she can focus on working with the actors and the shots and getting the right feel for each scene.
So what is it like working together? Well, it's an odd question, because I think the thing that makes it possible for us to work together is that we are so very different.
I very much enjoy multitasking. I'm good at it. My mind thinks in many layers and many ways. So while Shamim likes to focus on one thing at a time, I kind of I'm like a whirlwind a bit.
Yeah, she's a great multitasker. I'm a terrible multitasker. If I try and answer the phone and eat dinner at the same time, I just end up like with a phone in my mouth and pasta in my ear. It's not
a good thing.
It's not good. No, it's not attractive. It's very good to be married at that point, not on a date.
Actually, we always try to make a point to have weekly dates. We do our movies, go out, spend quality time together, plus time with our kids. But always as a couple, we try to carve time for each other.
Yeah, not very much time. It's in between a to-do list. There's just a little bit of time.
That's important. And then sometimes we end up out on dates and we end up talking about work, but you can't help it because you're passionate about what you do. So Shamim tries to have the rules, no talking about work while we're on a date, but then
we don't talk about anything now.
Hardly.
This has been just a little introduction to how we work together, why we work together, and in the coming weeks we're going to involve you, I hope, a little bit more in what we do every day. Bye for now.
Bye. Have a lovely week.